Hey guys, welcome to the Gods Unchained beta with the TheProfesserf. Alright, it's time for our Monday Mythic meta for the ranked weekend event on April 16, 17, and 18. Let's take a look at the results. Alright, so here's a list of our top 20 players from the ranked weekend event. 3 players with 24 wins. We have 6 players with 23 wins. And we have one spot, 10th place, up for grabs for all our players with 22 wins. So one thing to remember is that these results are unofficial. These results are from GU decks, which pull directly from the Gods Unchained API. However, the Gods Unchained team perform an audit to verify all the results and all the wins. So we don't get the official results until they say so, which usually gets published every Wednesday through the Discord. Alright, having said that, let's take a look at our meta. Alright, in our top 20, we had 11 players that played Magic. So Magic has continued its steady increase of players taking over in the top 20. Nature had 3 players in the top 20. Death and War had 2 players each. And Light and Deception had 1 player each in the top 20. So when it gets down to it and the players are competing for top prizes and getting those extra rewards for the top 10, it's looking like a lot of players are turning to Magic for that consistency. From my look backs on previous meta weekends, we haven't had a deck that went over 50%. So Magic is the first one to have more than 50% of the players represent the deck in the top 20. So in our top 10, we have Nature currently in 1st place and 8th place. Magic takes up a lot of spots in the top 10. 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 9th, and 10th. That's 6 places out of 10. And then War took the last 2 spots, taking 4th place and 7th place. Alright, looking at our wins, the best Nature and best Magic deck had 24 wins. The best War decks had 23 wins. And we have 3 ties here. We have Deception, Death, and Light, with the best decks at 22 wins each. Let's take a closer look at their decks. So our 24 win Nature deck is a Nature mid-range deck. It has the standard early game plays. You have your Marshwalkers, Black Jaguar, Canopy Barrage to control the board, Skeleton Heavy, and Axewoman. One thing to note on this deck is that besides the 1/1 buff from Chiron and Shield Bearer, there's 1 card added for Trial Spirit to add for extra health. The extra health can allow for better trades. We have the Steadfast Scout, a 3 mana 1/3 with the potential to become a 3 mana 3/5 if you have 2 creatures on the board. So that can happen easily with this deck, especially with the Animal Bond God Power. So plenty of opportunities to play a 3 mana 3/5. We have Selena in the deck, along with our strong mid game with Overgrown Rhino, Wetlands Ogre, Ironclad Minotaur, Pious Giant. We have 2 Jaguar Staffs and only 1 Hunt. I think with all the strong statted creatures like Rhino, Hunt Warden, Wetlands Ogre, a lot of the board control comes from the minions, so it can afford to get away with 1 Hunt, and the rest of the cleanup removal can come from the Jaguar Staff. And then we have Helia the Illuminator to finish out the game, giving your board +1/+1 and Ward to make them harder to remove. Our best Magic deck at 24 wins is Control Ramp Magic. You have your strong early plays with Shadow Scryer, Pyramid Warden, Axewoman. Early removal, Sarshard Bolt, Tracking Bolt, Ramp with Elixir, Manitoad. One thing I'd like to talk about in this deck is Archimedes Mirror. So this card has been showing up quite a bit in some of the Magic decks. So it's for 6 mana, you play a 1/6 that sits on the board, but any damage this creature takes, whether when your opponent attacks it or when you attack, it gets applied to all the enemy's creatures. So this card can serve as a board wipe. So usually when facing aggro decks, a lot of the creatures have less than 6 health themselves. We had 2 War decks that finished with 23 wins. The first one is an Enraged War deck with the Atlantean twist. We have an Atlantean tribal synergy going on here with Broken Harvester, Rolling Watcher, Dwarf Atlant, Face Touch Golem, and Boostwalker. You have your strong Relic, Sites of the Harvest, to do 4 damage, either directly or to clear a creature on the board, and also gives a roar of +1 strength to one of your creatures. You have additional strong early cards like Respected Jarl and Master Tactician, and a late game burst with Red Fume Serum. The other top war deck is a Deadly Control war deck, utilizing the God Power Onslaught. This one looks to survive early on to fend off all the aggression. It uses Auric Rush, Archers, Pyramid Wardens, Tacticians, and you have your mid-game stabilizing cards like Nokvi Pillager, Trojan Battle Mage, Carnage Sweep. So you're looking to fend off the aggression and survive into the later game. And all these cards are synergizing to help stall or remove threats. And then the finisher is getting value from Jason, Strength in Numbers, and Avatar of War. The top Deception deck finished with 22 wins. This one's Hidden Rush, fairly standard. You have your strong early plays, removals. You have a little bit of Atlantean synergy with Shadewalker and Face Touch Golem. And one card that we don't typically see is the Reflection Elementalist. This one transforms one of the friendly creatures on your board into another 3/4. So if you had a Shield Bearer on the board that's finished giving its buff, this 1/1 could potentially turn into a 3/4. Our top light deck is our Zoo light deck that we've seen before. You have strong early plays with the Relics and the Blind Martyr. You have buffs here: Pyramid Warden, Axewoman, Olympian Guard. You have board control with Light's Levy, Imperious Smite, Master of Indulgences. You have Canonize to buff. You have your strong endgame with Isidora Asterius. Our top death deck with 22 wins is board wipe control. You have early removals combined with strong early cards like Pyramid Warden, Axewoman, and then you have the Fanatic and the Asp to help ramp up. You could use Half-Life on them to bring them back and ramp even more. You have targeted removals with Amazon Heart Eater, Reap. Then you have plenty of removal with Black Blood Blast, Apocalypse Now, End Times. All that ramping and removal leads to a very strong endgame of Demogorgon, Helion Elite, Tiet, Trial of the Underworld, and Raise Dead. Alright, those are our top decks. Let's take a look at our meta now. We can see that Death sits at top with a 51.9% win rate. Has positive win rates over Nature, Magic, War, and Light. We see Nature with 51% win rate as well, and has a very crushing 59% win rate over Deception. Magic also sports a positive win rate. This one against Nature, War, and Deception, and a very close, almost 50-50 against Light. We still have a huge representation of Nature, but one thing that we've seen change now is that Death is the second most popular god, followed closely by Deception. Alright, so that's our Monday Mythic meta, and here's again our top players. Congratulations to their performances, and as usual, good luck on your packs when you receive them.